Welcome to Q7 for May 2025, and I am by myself today. No special guest, not even anyone in the room to talk to other than our great videographer, Dakota, who gets to listen to me all the time. I want to come to you for this month with a little thought that I've seen a lot of people struggle with. And, you guys all know what's been going on with Mike and all of that kind of stuff. So we've heard it before. We've heard it lots of times before. Tough times don't last, tough people do. For some of us, it feels like there has been a lot on our plates right now, and there's just sort of a lot going on. And that's sort of what I want to talk about. And a couple of things that I have learned personally through this experience. It amazes me because I don't think anything that I'm going to say to you is really all that earth shattering. Certainly not things that you haven't heard before or things that you don't know. It's just that sometimes you can't seem to see the forest for the trees. We're in the middle of all of this stuff, and it's not so easy to keep going. And you're exhausted, you're tired, you're wanting results to happen faster. You want it to go your way faster. And it just seems to have its own timetable. And that's sort of what I want to talk to you about today. So we know that tough times don't last, tough people do. What does that mean? Well, think back 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, even last year. No matter what you were going through last year, you probably right now are thinking, man, it was easier. And maybe it was, and maybe it wasn't. There are so many battles that we all face and that we all have to go through. And we kind of lose the impact of the battle as time passes because time has passed. We just are no longer in the middle of it. It's no longer controlling our lives, and we move on. So waters become smoother again. We like that, and we continue on. So what do you do when you're in the middle of a storm and you feel like you're a little overwhelmed? That was me for February and March as we worked our way through Mike's diagnosis and trying to figure out, how can you control all of this? Apparently, I'm a tad, just a little bit of a control freak. I love to have a plan. Turns out that nobody else wanted to be on the same plan. They had other things happening in their lives, and we were going to fit into a schedule. I have been in one of the doctor's offices that Mike will be working with more times already, trying to get them to understand that I had a schedule. What I have come to learn is they have one too, and that's okay. Sometimes the release comes in accepting where you are today, not giving up, but sometimes you have to stop fighting what is going on and say, you know what? There's a plan in place. I just need to figure out how I fit into that plan. So in your own business, in your own life, if things are a little bit challenging right now, take a breath and go, you know what? It's okay. It's going to work itself out. Now, I believe that too, but in no means in my life did that mean I was going to take a back seat to how I wanted this all to be done. So I create my own frustration. I created my own anxiety. I created a whole bunch more drama than needed to be in there. So starting with figuring out what the plan is. If it doesn't all come together this week, will next week still come? Yeah. If there was an issue that was really that life-threatening and important, would that have found its way forward? Yeah. Things like that always seem to do that. You just have to trust in the process a little bit more. So for me, my first lesson with all of this was just understand that there is a plan. Sometimes it's not as fast as we want it to happen, but it will move forward. This day will end. Tomorrow will come. Tomorrow has its own challenges. Tomorrow has its own things to be worried about. Let's not future pace all of this stuff. Let's deal with today and what we can get done today. One of the other things I learned through all of this was The whole point about the fact that our emotions, we ride those emotions. You go up, you go down, you're happy, you're angry, you're depressed, you're worried, you're anxious. And I can do all of those things and still be sitting in this chair. It didn't go anywhere. It doesn't do anything for you to be anxious and worried. And I heard this great sermon that I listened to online. It's a podcast of a pastor. And I love the fact that he always talks about the fact of, you've done all of this worrying, and what has it gotten you? Are you any further ahead? Well, but, and we have all of these things of, you just don't understand the circumstances that I'm in. You just don't understand my situation. And one of the last things in the last sermon that I listened to on him, he was saying, stop telling people what the issue is or worrying about what it is, and start focusing on how. How are you going to fix it? How can you move forward? How can you see this being resolved? Instead of being anxious for something, what are the benefits that could happen? I feel like these last couple of weeks have been living in a Mike Ferry lesson. It's like Groundhog Day. I keep repeating some of these lessons where Mike will say to me, can I ask you a question? Number one of Mike Ferry, right? He always starts with questions. Yes, what? And he goes, how is this helping you being this upset about the scheduling or whatever it is that's going on? Well, it's not, but they should understand what's going on and how important this is, and they don't seem to. He said, do you really believe that they don't understand? Well, I think they're so busy that they don't even pay attention. And then Mike would look at me again and say, how does that help you? Let's say that really is the case. How is that going to help you? How do you think being a lunatic, which that was the word I used to describe myself, is going to help you move forward? Try taking a step back and asking them if they have any suggestions, how they could help. And you know what? When I did that, lo and behold, they came up with something that worked. I'm happy. Mike's super happy that I'm not harping on about this anymore. And it changes the way the whole day moves forward. Yes, stuff happens all the time. Stuff that we weren't planning for, stuff that we didn't want. But years ago, Mike gave me this little button for my birthday, a little round one you pin on your lapel. And it said, I have survived damn near everything. And the bottom line is, if you look back at all the things that you have come through, all of the challenges that you have faced, and so many of you have faced big challenges. Here you are today. Life goes on. We only get one life. There's a great little Snoopy comic strip cartoon that I have a picture of, and it's Snoopy and Charlie Brown sitting on a dock, and they're facing the water, and so you only see the backs of them. And Charlie Brown says to Snoopy, you only live once. And Snoopy responds by saying, that's not quite true. You only die once, but you get a chance to live every day. Every day you decide how you are going to live this day, how you are going to move forward, what you are going to focus your energy on. If you had to stop right now and pause this video and look around and say, write down 3 things that you are grateful for or happy about, could you do it? And the answer is, of course. No matter what else is going on. Now, sometimes if I were to say, could you write down 3 things that are frustrating you or causing a lot of anxiety, you're like, got it, 1, 2, 3. You know that right away. Sometimes the gratitude part is a little harder to do. But you know what? It's one of those things that you look at and say, boy, if I can get my perspective to be in the right place, then everything else falls into line. It's not that bad. We want to be able to look at a day and say, I've lived this day. I've enjoyed this day. I got something out of this day. I made a difference in this day. If you ever feel like I do once in a while, that it's just surviving a day and you're exhausted and you're tired and it's just, that's human. We all have those days. But the difference is it's also a decision. You can decide to do something different. You can decide to end your day with a gratitude journal. You can take a moment and choose to be happy. Go on social media. You'll see all of the people who have perfect lives and everything is wonderful. Or go out and watch the sunset. Take a few minutes and read a great story or a few pages of a book that Mike has always recommended and told us to do. Watch something that will make you laugh. There's so many things that can change instantly the feeling that we have in a day. So, tough times? Yeah, they can be challenging. You know, for so many of the great clients that we work with, although the market has been really tough in the real estate industry for some, so many of our clients are having their best year ever. And that is because they are so well trained and focused on this. Now, I also know that some of our agents are struggling a little bit more. And if that's where you find yourself today as you're watching this, hey, don't give up. Keep going. Keep focused and know that tomorrow will come. And some days, this is about just being the tougher person. You're tougher than the situation. You have no idea of what you can do because your potential is unlimited. See yourself that way. A problem coming towards you? You got this. We'll make it through. We have before, we do every day, and we will in the future. So although this Q7 is a little bit different and a little bit different in the presentation style, I just wanted to share a couple of those thoughts with you. I also want to end this with saying to you, you know, also with going back to what Mike and I went through in February and March, it was such an interesting thing because we're both pretty strong when it comes to mindset, but it still felt like being in a fog. You know, you kind of have the rug ripped from underneath your feet and you're standing there going, what just happened? But I will tell you that an interesting thing developed. You go through, for us, it was a couple of weeks of really not knowing how to deal with everything. And then don't forget that I was making it worse for myself by trying to control it all. That didn't work out all that well. But it was that you constantly felt like you weren't in control and you didn't know what tomorrow was going to bring. And it was frustrating. And it was all of these things. And all of a sudden, we're not doing anything anymore because, well, we might get a phone call. We have to sit here and wait. We have to do all of these things. But boy, did it ever reinforce for me in looking back of how important it is to have a goal. If you're going through something right now, what is the goal that you're trying to get to? Stay focused on that. You know, keep engaged, keep having a purpose. Both Mike and I have talked about, people talk all the time about retiring. Well, I've worked my whole life. Well, what are you going to do now? Nothing. Wow. What I have found is that nothing is not the place for me. Even if you want to retire and slow down, have a plan. Know what you want to do. Have something that you want to accomplish. And never lose sight of having a goal. When you turn 90, make the goal to be 95 and dancing at your birthday party. When you get to 95, here's the goal for 100. Whatever it is. But don't be without a goal. It really makes such a difference for the focus and the energy that you can bring into every day. So for me, the last couple of months have been really great learning opportunities. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Things happen, life changes. It's meant to change. Embrace the opportunity of having a lesson versus having a horrible circumstance. Think of it that way, and remember that we want to move forward and make today count. Thank you for listening today. I hope this has helped somebody. If it hasn't out there for any of you, it has me, and I appreciate you listening. Sometimes it's just having the opportunity to get all of this stuff out there. In the meantime, what I will tell you is that the Superstar Retreat is coming up in July, and you all know that we're celebrating Mike's 80th birthday as well as the 50th anniversary of the company. So if you're not already registered to come, get yourself booked, get there. If you know alumni, which we're saying anyone who ever participated in the Mike Ferry organization in the coaching program between 1988, which is when he started that, and 2020, we call that group our alumni. We're inviting them all to join us and participate in this. Talk about it, get as many people there. I would love to make this event just the over-the-top event to say thank you to Mike Ferry for all he has taught us throughout all of these years. So it's going to be a great event. We're going to have 20 different presenters on all the different topics. You just don't want to miss this one. So we'll be there. The question is, will you? Talk to you next month. Bye, everybody.